welcome to Sunrise Extra on a Friday, the first Friday of our new year. And we are talking New Year's resolutions. Maybe if you don't call them New Year's resolutions, I've seen a lot of people kind of, the new phrase is like writing down your intentions.
New Year's intentions.
Yes, writing down your intentions. Here's an interesting stat. You're 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that kind of cool?
It kind of crystallizes it, right?
It does,
sometimes
yeah.
We're scattered when we just think about stuff, but putting it in black and white or typing it on the computer, it just kind of makes it real.
Yes.
Do you think the percentages change if you write it down in pencil versus pen?
Eraser.
No, I think it is like, you know, we don't handwrite stuff very much. And I think I've seen a lot of, you know, my love for Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
The Rock.
He did a post. Wow.
I mean, the way you said that sounds
yeah.
pretty serious.
It might be
Serious on her end.
if I were to ever meet him. Anyway, he did a post on Instagram the other day, I don't know, New Year's Day or something like that, with him and his wife, and they were sitting at this kitchen counter, and they both had like journals open, and they were writing their intentions down. And there was like a full sheet of stuff for both of them.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah, and it was just kind of got me thinking. I mean, not just because it's like The Rock, but and you know that I love him, but like doing that in a different way than just like, I never really make resolutions, but you always kind of think like, oh, I'd like to do that, and that's kind of the extent of it. But actually taking time to write out your goals, and especially after the pandemic when things just become clear of what's important, you know, and where you want to spend your time and energy, and to write that stuff down.
It's funny to me because I'm thinking like, you know, I don't ever do that either. I've never in all my 47, now almost 8 years, I've never sat down and written out goals for the year. But they do ask us at work every year in December, so just a couple of weeks ago, they do ask us to, you know, kind of recap our year in our own words and maybe throw some goals out there for the coming year.
Called an employee review.
And,
I think a lot of people have those at work, but yes.
I can't stand that thing. I like that could be the one opportunity where I go, you know what, hey, they're giving me the opportunity to list some goals, to shoot for the stars, and I look at it and go like, oh gosh, I got to fill this out.
You just want to get through the next day.
Right. Do you guys take that pretty seriously yourselves, like the goals for the new year here in the workplace? I mean, how do you guys handle that?
I think we should. This was my turning point, though, years ago. I've told this story. I don't know if I've ever told it on the air, but I've told it before in the newsroom. I used to spend like a ton of time doing all these things. And then I had one particular boss where I'm like, oh, I get the game now. After I poured all my heart and soul into that little review, then he would just take it and rephrase it and like do none of the work. I'm like, is that what you're doing for all your employees?
In his response back to you?
I'm like, that's what I just
Well,
said.
yeah, if you've got
like,
50 employees, you got to do it. I understand that. But yeah, I guess, and maybe that is the point, is for us to put it in writing. And it's not for them to really comment on, but for you to kind of start getting the wheels turning.
Don't you think
know?
it's really an old vehicle for a paper trail when your boss wants a paper trail? Should termination come up at some point?
I think it could work in many ways, Rod.
There
it could
you go.
be a paper trail for some. It could be inspiration for others. It is what you make of it.
Yeah.
So, Nina, have you made New Year's
I
resolutions or
haven't.
set intentions for 2022?
I have been meaning to sit down, and because I want to this year write some things. I also saw some advice for like if you put reminders, like if you want to be a writer or write more, like put an old, you know, like mount a nice pen or something like on a thing on your wall, and when you walk by, or if you want to you know, travel more often, like put some kind of little tchotchke or souvenir in your kitchen or where you're going to be walking by, or on a mirror where you will constantly see it every day and remind yourself like, oh yeah, that's what I'm going for. And so I want to do stuff like that. I just haven't done it yet, but Drew and I have been on a good workout kick.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of, you know, pushing each other every week we'll send a picture of our completed workout. And so I really want to keep that going. It's been like, we're almost working out.
It took me
How many days a
47
week
years,
do you
but I
think?
discovered that my ideal workout partner is a petite woman. That's who I need to be matching up with in the weight room.
So you're on Peloton, Drew, and
Yes.
Nina has the mirror.
Yeah.
So you do.
So we're
each do
just
your
going
own
like
thing.
workout for workout, you know, like not timed, you know, or whatever, but like, hey, did you work out today? Okay, I'm going to too, and here's the proof I'm sending you of the complete picture.
I'm
So
not
that's
telling
been
how much
actually
I'm
like super
curling,
good.
or how much I'm, you know, lifting or anything like that. I'm just like,
Curling.
I did something. You should do something. That's all.
Yeah. So I want to keep that up. That's been so good, and like just get stronger and better at it through the year.
It does. Yeah, that's. I did better last year with the working out than I have since probably my early 30s. So I'd have to go back 15 years probably to find a year where I worked out more, or for lack of a better word, worked out better than I did in 2021. So hopefully we can, you know, build upon that here in 2022. I do want to share some of the. Can we get to viewers' comments?
Yes, I'm looking at those right now.
Okay, just one from that jumped out to me right away from Lynette, who's watching us this morning. What's up, Lynette? And congratulations to her. She says for the new year, she quit smoking cigarettes. She's been doing that for 25
Good for
years.
you.
She
That's
quit
awesome.
for the new year. I hope that
awesome.
resolution sticks for you.
Yes.
Veronica Gaston says, my goal is to walk 5,000 steps a day in January, 6,000 in February, 7,000 in March, and so on. In June, July, August, it will stay the same for 10,000 steps. Then September, 11, October, November, December, 12,000 steps.
Wow.
That's a good way just to build on it. You start little and just kind of increase.
I kind of want one of those.
A step counter?
Well, something. I don't like the look of like, I mean, not for me, like Apple Watch or something like that, but that's the only way you'll know, I guess, right?
I thought about doing something similar to that with like push-ups. Rod, you may remember this, and Brenda and Nina, I'm sure you've heard of the name Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
Herschel Walker became almost famous for his workout routine, which he insists only included push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups, I believe. Like there were no weights involved. This guy's body looked like it was chiseled out of rock, right? And he was not only an NFL player, but he also was a U.S. Olympic bobsled team member. I mean, an all-around great athlete.
I forgot that.
But
He was on the bobsled team?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, weird.
Bobsledder, Herschel Walker. But he claimed that he did, you know, his numbers were ridiculous. His workout numbers were to
And he
working
kept
out
track
what
of
Wilt
them?
Chamberlain had for women, right? There was like, I do 10,000 sit-ups a day and 5,000 push-ups a day. It was something really ridiculous that people had a hard time believing. But I thought, you know, what if, I mean, if you think about that, if you did 10 push-ups literally today and you did 11 tomorrow and then 12 the next day, I mean, where could you go with that? Would you hit a wall at some point? Because I would think that, you know, I could do 10 today, but I don't know if I could do 365.
But I think the point is, just do it in little increments, and then you're like, oh, I checked it off, I did it, you know, and then you're like, let's do a little bit more. And I think that, you know, just keep it going throughout the year, but
I love Connie Staub Miller. This is good. She said, I don't consider this a resolution, or she doesn't do resolutions because she says she always fails. I decide on a word. And then I put around reminders for that particular word.
Okay.
One year was self-care, another was grace, and this year, 2022 for her, is kindness, because the temperature of the world often makes it hard to be kind.
yes,
So
that's
it's
a
like
great
theme.
idea.
I like
One
that.
word, and that's easy to, and it can mean so many things.
See, Willie Huey, I thought the same thing as you were talking, Nina. He says your phone tracks your steps. You can do that without
Does it
buying
really?
an extra gadget. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
It's right in your hands already, your step tracker.
I also want to keep track of like, I've been reading a lot. Like I try and read for maybe 10, 15 minutes before bed every night. And so I've found myself like just flying through books, and I want to write them down, like to see how many and write them down as I go. So I finished one, I don't know, this weekend. And so I wrote the first title down of the year, and to kind of keep track of stuff like that.
I love that. My daughter does that. She's
She
a
does?
voracious
Yeah.
reader. And her mother, dear God, because I get up every day, I swear I cannot read a book. I like to read at night. And as soon as I start reading, I fall asleep.
But that's kind
I
of
swear
good.
to God, I have been on one
That's
book
how I
that I got
get
like
to
4
sleep.
years ago. It's still not done.
Your daughter's mother seems like she has a crazy work schedule. What does she do for work? This made me laugh, and then I can share a quick story with you guys that happened to me just last night. Rod, you were in my brain last night at around 6:30 in the evening. I'll tell you in a second. Starts with Willie Huey's comment, a second from Willie.
Yep.
He says, Hot Rod. Talking about you, Rod. Hot Rod has changed me. This year, he says, I'm going to stop tipping at the drive-thru. We had a big discussion the other day on Sunrise Extra about tipping, specifically tipping at the drive-thru. So, Rod, here we are. The Carney
Oh,
family,
gosh.
the four of us. Boys in the back.
Oh, this is
Mia
it?
and
Okay.
Drew in the front. Mia's driving the car.
Wow.
And we're going through the Burgerville drive-through last night at 6:30. We kind of got into a pinch with time. Something took a lot longer than we expected, and now Burgerville became dinner. I said, let's go to Wendy's. Boys won. We went to Burgerville. Anyways, we get to the line. Mia's doing all the kind of the ordering, and then she's pulling up and doing the paying at the window because she's driving the car. And I laughed to myself, Rob, because you entered our car in this moment. The person in the drive-through window says to my wife, just like you says it happens, just like you said it happens. They have the turn thing there. My wife puts the card in, pulls it out, and then she doesn't have the option to do it herself. The attendant at the drive-through says, would you like to leave a tip? Said it to my wife, would you like to leave a tip? And Mia froze. And I thought, how is she going to handle this? I'm not going to help. And I could see this, like, it was almost like the awkwardness was right there in the front seat of our car. And she said, no. And I was like, whoa.
Your wife said no.
And he kind of, and then there was that awkward pause where he was still sitting there, and the gentleman said, okay, and then I turned it back around. But it was just like you said, Rod. It was
It's
like
got to be a high percentage. I mean, I would think in the drive-through.
That's, well, at least this person said, would you, to me, that's polite. Would you like to leave a tip? That's polite. My experience was, would you like 15 or 20%?
Okay.
Oh, they said a number?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Oh.
They just assumed, like, you're going to leave a tip, which would you, and that's what ticked me
See,
off.
you got him back on this.
Yeah, but Mia said, she turned to me and said, when did they start asking for tips at the drive-thru? I said, oh, that's old news. We covered that on Sunrise Extra on Tuesday.
You guys see, where's good old Stanford at? Good morning, Stanford. Oh, Stanford says, my New Year's resolution this year is to see Rod get upset over paying a tip. But Stanford, you would never see that, because if I don't want to leave a tip, I won't. And if I do, I do. So there's no being upset scenario.
Oh my gosh.
Katie Bartholomew Grimes says, I've challenged my baby boomer clients, are you like a personal trainer, to walk or run their age in miles every month. I like that idea.
Walk their
Hashtag move more.
miles every
Love
month.
That's like a
Every
lot,
month.
though.
Yeah, I can't do that.
5, 10, 15, 20.
I mean, that's like 2 miles a day
done that
almost.
like
You know,
60
you're a baby
years ago.
you're a baby boomer
Yeah.
almost.
I can't do that
I
today.
couldn't do no
We've got
way.
a little 4-mile loop that we go. So 4 times, so I do 20. I think I could do
Yeah,
that.
I think you're already there, Brenda.
I'll need to report back.
And they're not talking about running, Rod and Nina. They're just saying walking.
Yeah, they said
well,
walk or
still.
run, whatever you
But
do.
miles? What did I miss here?
Yeah, she said miles.
A day?
You would have to walk about 2
No, a
miles a day.
month.
A month.
No,
So I'd
well,
have to do
for the month, but he'd have to do 2 miles
Yeah,
a
by
day.
yeah,
60
2 miles a
like
day.
that.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
There's nothing I hate more than
Brenda, how long do
running.
you think it would take Rod to walk 2 miles? Around,
2
like in a loop
miles?
in his
To walk
neighborhood?
2
Oh,
miles? That
not
doesn't
long,
take
like
That's
a half
dog
an
walk.
hour.
A half hour?
35 minutes, 15, 16-minute miles. He could do that.
I mean, we go a couple miles on with Maximus when I take him on his daily
Yeah.
dog walk.
Okay, so then you're good.
You
You
have
need
no
one of
faith
the
in him,
foot
Drew.
trackers too then.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, what are
Drew,
other
do you
people
do
saying?
any? You're not goals.
Jennifer Taft says, my
goal
resolution is not to get Omicron. I hear you, sister.
Right.
It's been kind of a personal goal, right? I mean, why wouldn't it be? That seems like we should all be aiming for that, not to get sick.
We're trying.
I thought I lost the battle last week. Then I took that darn test on New Year's Eve at the doctor's office. I thought, this is it.
This is it. It's finally
I'm going to be the
happening.
first of the 4 here to get it, but thankfully it came back negative.
I know, you don't want to be the first, right?
Mark Eastman says, good morning, crew. I always do a New Year resolution, but it's all about health and money. And since I retired, it's worked for me. I'm on a budget. I guess, you know, Mark's comment made me think of, like, what I would really like to do this year is pay off one of our cars. So I guess I think in terms of those financial things more than anything.
But do you like sit down and do the math of like, okay, what's my payment every month going to be then, and then set it to like auto?
No, I'm not that way. I know how much is left on the loan, and at some point I'll just pay
It's
it
so
off.
nice not to have a car payment, isn't it? That's like the biggest.
We lease the car I drive, and then we own the
Okay.
car, or the bank owns a car that my wife drives. So, but if we could get that one paid off this year, that would be fabulous. Yeah.
Yes,
I have not
yes.
experienced what it's like to not have a car payment in I don't know how long. I mean, not since we've been married, we've had one.
Mia likes her cars, though,
Does.
right?
You know what? I should have seen it coming. Her mom is crazy about the cars. They're a family that only believes in getting new cars.
Really?
Yes, like brand new. You have to be the first owner
And
of the
she
car.
knows that's like the worst deal out there.
You don't
right?
want to inherit. Her mother-in-law, or her mother, my mother-in-law taught her, like, you don't want to inherit someone else's problems, so to speak. You know,
Yeah,
whatever
there's
someone
that
else did to a
thought.
car. And to her mom's credit, she will take care of a car like no other. I mean, when she gets a new car, that thing looks and stays new forever with the cleaning and all the oil changes and all the maintenance. But still, they are crazy and meticulous about their vehicles.
I do that. I can't remember the last time it's been probably in my 20s the last time I had a car that I didn't get new. But I also will keep my car for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So if you do that, then I don't think it's a bad deal.
You know who was good? Russ Lewis, who used to work on the Sunrise Show, was really good about like finding good car deals, and he never bought new. He would always buy, you know, a year old, maybe 2 years at the most. But he would like look up and down the West Coast, and I don't know, he spent a lot
That's
of
what
time
my husband does. He
researching,
it's like
where
the
are
thrill
good-
of the
Yes.
chase. Yes.
Yeah.
He loves that, and I hate that stuff.
I'm
But
kinda- I
thank
do too.
goodness for him. Yeah, what's that?
Oh, you hate, I'm sorry, I'm reading a walking comment. You hate
He likes
shopping for cars.
researching. I don't give a crap about cars.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about them. I don't care. I just know what I like. You know, if he's like, well, what kind of car would you like? I'm like, well, I don't know what they are. And then I start noticing other cars driving. But he'll do the exhaustive research. Thankfully, there's someone that's doing that. But yeah, I can't stand doing that stuff like that.
Ginny Carlson says her life intentions, changing her mindset.
Oh, that's a good one. That can
Did you
mean
see
so many
Renee
things.
Robertson?
No.
This is what I was thinking of when I was talking to Nina a second ago. Renee walks 6 to 7 miles every single
Jeez.
day.
Wow, good for you.
Love it.
Jeez Louise.
They still say that's like the best, one of the best exercises. right?
Yes.
Just
Walking and
simple
swimming.
Walking, yeah. and
On low impact, right? And it gets that heart rate going. Yeah, 6 to 7, that's like 210 miles a month. She's way ahead of the game in terms of
Yes,
walking
she
your age
is.
each month. That is awesome. Just a heads up, programming alert. Rod, have you ever heard of the segment Drew and You?
Oh, I have, yes.
A big fan.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah,
Big
we've got a new
fan.
one coming
On Monday, right?
and it's
Yeah.
about New Year's resolutions. I thought Monday, the 10th of January, is the last possible day you can air a segment about New Year's resolutions.
Probably true.
Probably today was the last day, but we're holding it until Monday. And it's we did run into a lot of people at the Washington Square Mall that gave some great answers when it comes to resolutions. And my takeaway, we stopped maybe a dozen people. Most people don't make the resolutions, and in fact, most of the people we stopped were against the idea.
Against the
we
idea.
talked to a real, a woman who on the fly, without didn't know this topic was coming, but she gave some really good answers and said probably New Year's Day is the worst time to make a resolution. You're just kind of getting into the moment,
Yeah.
and it's not really because of the intention, it's because of this tradition, so to speak. But yeah, it's a pretty fun one. We'll have that coming up during the Sunrise TV show on Monday.
That's why I feel like less pressure because we've already been working out, and it's not like okay, January 1st, I gotta like start doing it. It's more of like I gotta keep going and like But I also have a resolution to set a better sleep schedule for this thing that we're doing. And so I had a doctor tell me the other day, she's like, I was telling Drew this, you gotta aim for 7 hours. You gotta up it to try and get 7 hours. Even if you count a nap toward that, she's like, I don't care. So she gave me permission to take a nap at work.
Oh, I like it.
For my lunch break, which I
She's
do.
not your boss.
already.
That's my kind of prescription.
But I'm gonna,
Right?
that's an hour nap. And then she's like, you gotta be in bed at like 7:45 with the goal of lights out at 8.
Okay.
And so I've been doing that this week, so it's been 4
And you
nights.
feel better, yes?
Mm,
Kinda? Not yet?
Yeah, I think it'll be a compounded thing, but it's a good goal to have, It's just like trying to get an extra hour and a half.
This applies to everyone. Sleeping on the job and sleeping at work, not the same thing. Honestly, like I feel like most
Yeah.
people have a break during their workday.
Yes.
They get a break. And if you choose to spend your break
Napping.
sleeping, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
That's what I'm rationalizing. I eat at my desk right after the show while we are in our meeting. And a lot of you get to see me eat. And what a joy that is. And then I spend, the hour before most people get here.
Maybe the
napping.
U.S. does it wrong. There are entire cultures that take a little nap during the day.
Yeah, that's
You
what the
know?
Europeans do, right?
Yes,
You eat a
yes.
big I almost said a bad word. You eat a big lunch, and then you take a nap.
There you go. Oh, did you see
big
Christy
lunch.
Shirk? I was just going to read hers real quick.
No.
Where'd it go? Did it disappear? Did it do it?
Lost it. I
Friday
scrolled, I
disappearance?
zigged when I should have zagged. I'll find it again. Go ahead.
Well,
Talk among
what I was going to do next was say goodnight.
Yeah.
We're getting to that time.
Okay.
No, but now I'm dead set on finding that comment.
Oh, boy.
Christy's short comment.
Kim Tannehill, she says, my resolution is to get my candle business up and running. If you liked my cornucopia that we featured there for our Thanksgiving recipes, she made a really cool kind of puff pastry, not puff pastry, but pastry thing. You'd love my candles. Can I send some to the station? Sure, Kim.
We like
You want to
candles. We
smell
like
them?
good smelling candles. Here's
Yeah.
Christy. She says, I'm going to visit the people in the home where my mother was living. Some of them don't have any family close by, and they need someone to visit with. They love when you bring them cookies.
I love that
Sweet.
idea.
Yeah, extending your family circle.
That is awesome.
Love, love.
All right, you guys, write down those goals. You have a better chance of achieving them. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.